going to be days that you do not want to do anything. There are going to be days that your brain tells you 9 million reasons why it's okay to not do it. And yes, you got to work and play in equal measure. So you got to have those days where you're doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yep. But it can't interrupt all the time. Okay. And yesterday was one of those days I meant to even record it, but I was like, oh my God, let me record it this today while I was sitting here thinking about it. Oh my gosh. So I got up yesterday morning and I was going to go to the gym because it's my gym day. It's a leg day. It's kind of a heavier day for me. And I was tired, and it's okay to be tired and not go. But again, I know me. So you got to know yourself. You got to listen to your body. So if you're like, wow, my body's exhausted, I need a day of rest or 2 days of rest. That's why you build in those days, right? So you're going to feel exhausted. You're going to feel tired, but you got to push through that piece of it. So you don't go 7 days a week, but you don't go 1 day a week either. And my brain, I know my brain, and I know that if I give myself more than a blink, I can talk myself out of anything. And yesterday was one of those days where I had to fight between self-discipline and the loud chatter of excuses in my head. I was like, oh my God, I got to share this with you guys. So typically, and you've heard me talk to you guys about this if you're on my Insta stories or some of my other short form things, where I can make an excuse. Well, my allergies are bothering me. And there will be times, probably there usually is every year, where ragweed comes in. It's a ragweed. It's a thing. It's a weed that it really bothers a lot of people in the Northeast in the fall. And sometimes it feels like you got the flu, like you are laid out. So of course, but I also try to get ahead of the game. I now know when I get my symptoms. So I try to go ahead and take my allergy pill all the time. But there might be those days where you are sick. You just don't feel like going, and that's fine. But again, it's a slippery slope if you just do it because you don't feel like it. And you cannot stop doing things because you don't feel like doing them, right? There's going to be a lot of things in your life you do not feel like doing. And that is the difference. And somebody told me this years ago, the difference between successful people and everybody else is that the successful people do the things you don't want to do and they do them first. And yesterday I got up and I was like, okay, I didn't sleep well. I just didn't. It was just, and honestly, that was my issue too. That was my own fault because I was laying in bed and I was like, oh, I forgot to turn on the fan. And even worse, I forgot to put the batteries in the remote that turns on that little pad that blows the air on me, the cold air on me that I got from Sleep Number that helps me sleep better. So this is my own fault. This is my fault going, okay, you know what? It's not that bad. Negotiations the night before. It's not that bad. It's okay. Like I can just sleep with my leg out. Again, negotiations. You know what? And if I get up in the middle of the night and it's hot, that's fine. I'll turn on the fan. No, I won't. And I was like, I forgot to put the batteries in that thing. Can do it. No, I don't feel like doing it. My own fault. So good enough for me that I didn't sleep because I put myself in that position. I should have got up, turned on the fan, got the batteries. It wasn't like I had to go to the store. I have them, put them in the thing and turned it on. My own issue. So I didn't sleep because I was hot and didn't get up. So insanity, my own thing. So I'm like, okay, so now it's morning and I say to myself, so I say to myself in the morning, okay, I don't feel like going today. You know what? I could just go tomorrow, right? Because I start these negotiations and in my head, I go, now listen, good angel, bad angel, right? I say, now listen, you know that you have your goals and it's not even about losing weight or super deep fitness. It's about a routine that you show up for yourself and you know it's best for your mental health. It's best for your physical health. I'm 52 years old. I need that strength training. It really helps me in other areas. Like I know it's good for me, but the amount of excuses that I came up with, and I know that some of you can relate to this. Oh my gosh, a million excuses. Well, I have a lot to do. And I mean, I did work out hard last week. What does that have to do with today? What does that have to do with Monday? Nothing. Has nothing to do with Monday. Has to do with me making excuses. Okay. So I did. I got up. And remember, I have to, and you might want to do this if you find yourself making excuses to get out of the house to go work out or anything like that. I lay out my stuff so there's no decision fatigue, bye-bye. Because at the moment I have to get out of bed and go 3 feet to my dresser and open it up and I see all my sports bras, now I'm even creating more excuses in my head. Oh, I don't feel like looking through all of this stuff. Good. So what do? Eliminate that. So the night before, I get my socks out. I don't go every day, but it's like I get my socks out, I get my shorts. Not so much if I'm doing Peloton at home, because it's just like I don't have to, because my day usually starts, I have clients all day, or I'm shooting content. Usually it's clients all day and then shooting content. So I'm busy. And so I know if I tell myself I'm going to go later, and you got to know this about yourself. You may be a not early riser and you can stay up late and you're like, I will absolutely work out later at night. You'll see that in the gym. You'll see people who are your morning people and your evening people. I am your morning people, not your 5 a.m. people, but I am your morning people, because I know if I don't do it, then I'm not going to do it. I can lie to myself, and I have gone in the past or done some Peloton later in the day, but that's the exception, not the rule. So I lay all my stuff out so I don't have to think about it. So I can take that excuse out. And it doesn't matter that you don't feel like doing it. It's a promise that you make to yourself, is that self-confidence and your self-discipline. That is the promise that you're making to yourself. So if you say, oh, I'm so trustworthy with all these people, but you're not trustworthy with yourself, then are you really trustworthy? Because if you can't keep a promise to yourself, it doesn't really matter about anybody else. And you're putting yourself to the bottom chain. So I got up, and guess what? Not only did I get up, and I do this every time I make excuses, I go harder. So I do the stairs, which are the most humbling experience in your life. It doesn't matter how fit you are, and you have to climb these steps. And not only did I go harder, I went faster, like a little bit faster, not crazy. And then I even upped my weight on my leg press, right? Why? It's not a punishment. It's a treat. See, I'm not punishing myself. I'm showing myself why I showed up for myself. So now the me is showing up for me. And then that me that I showed up for goes, that's right, you did. That's right, you did. So you got to stop waiting to feel motivation, because motivation's not real. Because if you're relying on motivation, oh boy, you're going to be super inconsistent, because motivation, that idea of motivation comes and goes, and it's usually going. Oh, it might come in the beginning. That's when you go to the store, you buy all your new supplies, you buy all of these things for whatever this new project is, because you're motivated to do it. And you get there and you're like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. And then you're just sitting there with all this stuff, because you got to show up for yourself when you don't feel like showing up. That means you do it, and you will negotiate yourself. And that voice, I have to check my voice. I can't coddle my voice and be like, it's okay. No, I have to put what the F are you doing, bro? Like, you got to sit in your corner. No, we are showing up. I don't care. You don't want me to show up. And push harder. Don't just merely exist by showing up. Push yourself harder. It is not a punishment. It is a reward for yourself, so you can get even more confidence to do it again. And there will be days, and some days it'll be easier. Some days you'll get up and you'll be like, oh my God, this is great. Oh yeah, I love this. I don't want to say love it, but you're like, I got it, you got it. Other days that is going to be almost feeling impossible to do it. Those are the days that matter the most, because anybody can show up for themselves when things are going good. Anybody can. You're like, I feel great. I'm in the mood. Oh my God, look at me showing up. Well, okay. You don't get bells and whistles for that. It's how you show up when you don't want to show up and when you don't feel like showing up. It's the thing that kept me out of the darkest areas of my depression. And I was in dark areas, don't get me wrong. But it's, okay, I got to show up and brush my teeth. I don't want to brush my teeth. It does not matter that I don't want to brush my teeth. I'm going to brush my teeth. Like if you're in a deep depression, it doesn't have to be everything. It's got to be something. You got to show up for yourself. And every time you show up for yourself, you feel a little bit more better. Bad English. Don't use that grammar. You feel better. And it's imperative that you give yourself that space. Because if you're waiting on feeling like all the planets align, or what's going to happen if I do it, is it going to work out? If you wait to do that, you are going to paint yourself right in a corner, and now you're stuck there. So you got to be stronger than that chatter, stronger than those excuses, because your mind will create a million excuses, and they will be loud, and you will negotiate it. Yeah, I should do that, but you're going to be a yeah, but person. Yeah, but no. So you got to ask yourself what your goals are, and are they for you? Because if you're making goals for other people, you're not going to want to show up for them anyway. And even if you are doing for yourself, you ain't going to want to show up sometimes. And it's showing up when you don't feel like it. So you don't say, how do you do it? You do it. You put one foot in front of the other. You get your stuff out the night before, whatever it is, whatever you need to do, prepare it. Whether it's work, whether it's cleaning, whether it's the gym, prepare it. Get it there. So in the morning, you're not overthinking all of these things and giving yourself more reasons, and then do it. I don't care. You want to do it. Change your mindset. The moment I put on my workout clothes yesterday, even though I didn't necessarily feel like, woo, I stopped with the negativity. I was like, okay, well, I'm dressed now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this. And I said, I'm going to show up stronger. So you flip that mindset. Don't live in it and then be like, oh my God, I don't feel like doing this. Because how you say it and how you see it is how you're going to feel it. So you got to get out there and you got to do it. But remember, your goals must be stronger than the excuses in your head.